Welcome to this A Girl in the Product World product demo episode, where my guest and I showcase new products ready for you to use, give your thoughts on, and be delighted with. Whether you're looking for something to help achieve your goals, help with your career, or just have fun with, look no further to find your next favourite product. Enjoy! Hello everyone and welcome to another exciting episode of A Girl in the Product World. I'm your host Amna and I'm very excited about this episode because it's a little bit different. It's actually going to be a product demo for an app that I think is absolutely fabulous and very inspiring. And today's special guest is Iqra. Iqra, hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. So Iqra is a part-time professor, but she's also the co-founder and CEO of the Noor Meditation app. She is also an implementation lead at the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre. The Noor Meditation app is a spiritual tool used by people to achieve mindfulness, and Iqra will go into this later on during our conversation. So let's get right into it and meet her. Iqra, hello. Please, in your own words, could you please tell us about yourself, your journey, and what's led you to where you are today?
Most definitely. First, I would like to start off by thanking you for having me on your show today. It's such an honor. My background, basically, I studied psychology and neuroscience, and it all started when I took one course called Mind, Body, Spirit. It was a course about the science of mindfulness meditation, and as a science student, I was just amazed by how much the brain, how it operates, and how much the brain can evolve and change just by meditating. And I remember taking the course and sitting in there and being amazed by it. But then another part of my brain was saying, Iqra, you don't actually need this. You're Muslim, you have your prayers, you have Islam, you have all that, you're good. So I would tell myself that. And I feel like I went through the entire course. I went through even a year after taking the course, reminding myself of that, or at least just convincing myself of that. And then I actually just paused for a moment. And as a science student, I feel like I just wanted to test my own thoughts. And I was like, is this actually true? Like, is mindfulness meditation exactly equal to what we are doing in Islam? And lo and behold, that actually led me to my master's thesis where I studied the physiological effects of mindfulness meditation. So, meditation with using your breath to anchor your attention. And I'm happy to tell you more about that after. And comparing it to we coined the term mindful prayer. So really listening to the Quran in that circumstance, in that situation, with a very mindful ear. And we compared the two. And what happened, actually, what we found, the results were astonishing that they were very similar. And my heart and I guess my passionate Muslim side was like, of course, the group that's listening to the Quran is going to outshine everyone else. But lo and behold, wasn't that they didn't. It was that the results were very similar. However, the group that was listening to the Quran, their results were delayed. Like the benefits were delayed. And I sat there and I was like heartbroken, to be honest. My Muslim side was like, no, like that we need this group to outshine everything. But my science brain reminded me to like look at this objectively and figure out what's going on. So I spoke to our participants and I had interviews after they did the entire study. And the theme that was coming out of it was everyone would be like, Iqra, like I was distracted. Iqra, my mind was wondering about this and I was thinking about that. And then they're like, when I just kind of let go of that and I remembered your instructions of like listen attentively and be present, they're like, I felt it. They were listening to one of my favorite surahs, Surah Rahman, and they're like, I felt it. I'm like, yeah, didn't you feel it? And it was because I feel like the delay was there because of course our minds are wandering all the time. We are distracted by so much that's going on in this world. And think about it. The last time when you were praying your salah, your namaz, what happened? Did you ever have a thought that kind of came in your mind of, I need to do this recording, I have a meeting, I have to take care of my kids, I need to cook dinner. All of that kind of grabs our attention. And then what are we left with of, what workout am I on, right? What did I recite? Am I done? Should I wrap this up? Do I need to redo this? Did I just mess up everything? And then you're confused and you're frustrated and you feel guilty and all of these things rush to you. So that's where we wanted to start. That's where Noor Meditation came in and saying, let's create these meditations to help people really focus in their salah, right? And not feel guilty when their mind wanders because we're human. and our minds will wander. We have to accept that. But when our minds do wander, how do we grab that attention back into the present moment? And then our mind wanders again, and then how do we grab that back? So it's just continuous cycle of bringing our attention back to our present moment. And I can always share some tips of what's presented in the apps there if you would like. But that's really what kind of brought us to the app. And then we went above and beyond, and we were thinking, you know what, Salah is the most important, of course, and that's where we want to be present because we're speaking to our Lord, the highest of the high. However, how about in between our Salahs, right? Don't we have an opportunity to actually now regain and reuse those tools that we have and really stay connected to Allah throughout our day, right? The prayer is a beautiful way to stay connected, but that does not mean it's the only time to be connected. So imagine you're waking up and you're brushing your teeth. That's an opportunity to be present and actually connect back to Allah when the bristles are touching your teeth there. And how do you thank Allah for having those teeth and having that toothbrush to be able to do that? And you're getting your coffee ready in the morning, and it's brewing. How are you mindful in that moment? And the kettle's going and it's brewing, and you're smelling all of this. How do you use all your senses to actually appreciate your coffee before you even take that sip? And you say alhamdulillah for that sip that Allah has given you. So all of these opportunities to stay connected and really to help people with their mental health. Anyone struggling with stress and anxiety and depression, mental health is a big area for Muslims that we want to focus on. There's a Muslim mental health crisis that's happening, and stress, depression, anxiety, it's all on the rise right now. So how do we help our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters going through this time, especially when there's so much taboo out there about mental health and mental illness? So we want to shatter that, first of all, and we want to support people through their stressors, through their anxieties. You do not have to be clinically diagnosed with a condition to benefit from the app. It's really for our average person that's going through life. Life can be stressful, and really it's a pick me up of be able to kind of put on that audio. We have a variety of different options of durations of the audios as well, so that way, based off of your needs and also based off of how much time you have, you can pick the right audio for yourself.
I absolutely love it because there are so many different use cases that I can think of in my head right now. Like you just mentioned in the morning making coffee. And you know what? I was just thinking about it this morning. I love the sound of water going into my mug in the morning. You know that noise and it hitting the tea bag. And I honestly, like, sometimes I'm like, thank God I've got this kettle to make this noise for me, because that morning tea is everything, right? Or coffee for you, or whatever it might be. And it's so true. And just before we get into it, you mentioned, in between Salah, and just for people listening who may not be Muslim and they're not aware. So as Muslims, we pray 5 times a day to God, and they're spread out throughout the day. So you'll have your morning, afternoon, late afternoon, evening prayers, and it's obviously our way of connecting with God, showing gratitude, etc. And it's just as Iqra said, we are human, we get distracted. You imagine you're working and you've got your afternoon prayer to do. You like have to literally break yourself away from that, focus on your prayer. And it's true, you get so many thoughts in your head. You're like, oh, okay, I've got another, maybe 2 minutes to go. I need to rush, but I've got a meeting to go to, or I've got something on the stove. I need to go back to the kitchen. There's so many things that are running through your mind. And even for the morning prayer, which often you have to wake up for, you're like, I want to just go back to bed. And you really have to focus on what you're doing. It's so true. But also I wanted to point out, as a woman, also, so just for anyone who's not aware, when we are menstruating, we don't pray. So we have this gap, and I know I've heard this from a lot of women who are like, we don't know what to do in that time. How do we still keep that connection going? And this app would be perfect for that, right? It just to kind of feel like, I make sure you still feel connected to God. Maybe there are things you could be doing just to increase that mindfulness. I'm sure that's a use case that you've heard of, Iqra, as well.
Yes, most definitely. You hit the nail on the head there. Is just finding that way to stay connected. And a lot of users have mentioned, the women especially, where you have that break and then you have to, when the break is over and you're ready to go back to pray, it's like as if you forgot to pray, right? It's like as if you forgot this routine of like, oh my goodness, I need to wake up. But like you just spent a whole week not doing that. So
Yeah.
it kind of breaks your routine. So it's how do you stay focused, right? Not necessarily saying you have to wake up at the same time in the morning and listen to the audio, but how do you keep it in your day so that when your week is done and you're going back to it, it's an easier transition. So that's a wonderful thing that you brought up.
Wonderful. Shall we see the app? So we've got a demo that Iqra is going to give us because I'm so excited to share it. Should we get into it?
All right, I'm ready. If
Perfect.
you are. Here's our website, www.noormeditation.com, and you can get a little bit of a sneak preview of what the app looks like. So here we have it is multiple different sessions here. So we have the array of the library here. And you can, it's what's showcasing here is the intro to Muslim meditation. So for those who are not really familiar with meditation or not familiar with how meditation interplays and it relates to Islam, that's the place that we suggest you starting. And then you can just go through the audios, you can listen to it. We have at the top here the meditation sessions, but our users have been giving us great feedback, and we love creating this app for our users. So we're listening and then we're adjusting as we are developing this app. So many people have mentioned, like, you know, it's great to have that meditation, but sometimes I just want like a dua, or I want to put something on, like just some relaxing sounds when I'm working. So we added a bunch of different features and different audios as well, which are available on the Noor Meditation app. Both four, you can see here, available on Google Play and the App Store as well. And just if you go down here, it says at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to learn how to focus during our salah. That would be beautiful, so that our hearts and minds can remain connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And honestly, like I mentioned before, in between, so that your prayer, your next prayer, is more meaningful. You'll see a bunch of different screenshots here of, again, just the library. Once you enter into the library, you choose the session you like. There's different audios within there, and then you can choose your favorite one and then go ahead and start playing and listening to it. The topics include a variety, but like I mentioned, we have the intro to Muslim meditation. We have the mindful salah, like I was mentioning to you, of tips and tricks of how to stay focused during your prayer. We recommend people listening to it before they pray, but I know life gets busy and it's hard to do that before every single prayer. So maybe pick one, at least to start off, use those tips throughout, and then come back to mindful salah as you have the time. Gratitude. We get so caught up in our lives and we're super busy. So how do we remain grateful, even for the little things, like you're mentioning with the kettle and the tea? And I forgot you're based in the UK. It's tea, not coffee. So I'll remember that. And then self-love. We are so hard on ourselves. It is so sad to hear how difficult, like how hard it is for people to get through day-to-day lives, and then they're just even more hard on themselves. And we want to create a space that where people feel like they are giving themselves permission to be, right? If they have an off day, that's okay. If they have a day that's not as productive as they wanted it to be, that's okay. It's like, how do we give ourselves permission to just be? And remember, like, the advice that we give to other people is the advice we want to give to ourselves, right? Like the things that we say in our minds to ourselves, we would never say to our friends, to our family, to our loved ones. So let's start at home. Let's start within. And the famous quote of, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So if we feel empty, if we feel like we're not doing well and we don't have the energy, it's going to be really hard to give back. So let's start with ourselves. And then, of course, stress and anxiety. We have some sessions about those ones that are really important. And sleep. I don't know about you, but sleep is very important to me. I just had a baby girl. She's 4 months old, and my sleep is very minimal now, and I see it impacting me. But sleep, my life revolves around it. So, and it's important just for your own well-being. You have your nutrition, you have your exercise, but there's some researchers actually say those don't really mean much if your sleep is not, you're not getting good quality sleep. So we wanted to definitely put some sleep stories there and meditations to help people sleep. So stay tuned. The library is going to expand very much so. We're just in our beta, so we wanted to kind of give everyone a little taste of it. But what's going to come is a larger variety of different sessions, and we are looking to our users to tell us what other sessions they would like us to include.
Amazing. Cool.
Yeah. And then there is a promo video. It is there at the bottom that's focusing on mindful salah. So feel free to take a look at that as well. And that is it. But that is our app. Would love for you all to check it out and let me know. Reach out. I'm happy to take any questions and suggestions on how we can make this better and make it a good fit for you.
Brilliant. I love it. Now, I've obviously tried the app out myself, and I, like you mentioned, busy during my day. But I started off with one meditation session. I think I ended up doing three. So, I managed to find the time for it. So just to give a bit of an idea, like what's the average kind of time people should expect to do a meditation session? And you also said there's a choice. So what does the time range look like, just so people can really see that, this can work for them?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we're designing this, so we're going to have a new design coming out. Stay tuned, spoiler alert, to really target our busy on the go people. That's just the nature of life. It's just on the go. We are so busy, and it's hard to embed new habits into our lives because we're starved for time. So research actually shows even 5 minutes of meditation a day can go a very long way. So we are going to be introducing a lot more of the 5 minute shorter sessions for people who are really on the go, and don't have that much time. So if it's the morning, you can squeeze that in and on your commute, or if it's, maybe midday lunch, you just want to kind of take a break and you have some space to do so, or if it's a unwind in the evening, whatever it is, we're going to have those sessions available. But for those who are like, I need a little bit more, I can carve out a little bit more time. That was great that you said that you were able to carve out even time for three. We will have the longer ones as well, just because we do have users who do love the 10 minutes, even ask for longer. So we want to make this app more customizable, so you can actually choose the duration that you would like. So that's a spoiler alert of what's to come. We're going to test it out, see what people would like, but research shows even 5 minutes, it builds a habit and it sets the tone for the rest of the day. So I encourage you to try to do it earlier on. But if you're not able to, if you're not a big morning bird, which I'm not either, so no judging. And if you want to do it later in your day, just building that habit, putting it in for 5 minutes, and the sunnah too of just building a habit, even if it's small, just if you're consistent about it. Allah loves consistency.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I love that it's an app because it's just so accessible. Now, you said, you could do it on your commute to work, and instantly I'm thinking, okay, I can do this when I'm on the train going to work, in a tunnel somewhere, whatever. It really is something that you can take with you, and just kind of do anywhere, I guess, right? Like meditation doesn't have to be in your room alone, quiet. Stick your headphones and you can pretty much do it anywhere, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing about meditation. And through the app, we're going to teach you, even if you don't have your phone, right? Let's just say one day you just don't have your phone, or you're up and you're presenting and you don't have the option to like put in the headphones and listen to it. We're going to teach you skills of how you can it's your breath. Allah's gifted you this breath. It's a gift to help you in all times, and it's with you at all times. You don't need anything with you. So using the app to learn how to do that is another way of, you don't need any tools. You don't need to spend any money on any additional items. You have your breath with you. Let us teach you how to use it.
Love it, love it. And there's also, this is a free tool, right? It's something that people can just download and use straight away. Which is
Right
also
now,
something.
it's a free download app. We will be introducing premium features later on, but the library will have a variety of options that are free, because we just want to spread the word and get people like introduced to meditation through Islam.
I mean, if this is how good the free version is, I'm signing up for that premium version.
I appreciate it. Oh, stay tuned. We got a lot. I'm like itching inside. Like, I want to tell you it all, but my team would be like, Iqra, no. So I will leave it there. We have a lot of exciting new
Okay.
partnerships coming and features coming, and using technology to never ever seen heights before. So stay tuned. It's a very exciting journey, and I'm so excited to be part of it.
Love it. Now, if I wanted to touch on just the kind of people who this is suitable for, because you mentioned earlier, we have I guess, this global pandemic of mental health happening, and that, like you also said, taboo. Now, I'm from the South Asian community where men and mental health don't seem to go together. It does seem to be something that us women focus on probably a bit more, and I know there's so much going out there for men to focus on their mental health more. So And that's just an example, right? So who is this app suitable for, given all the issues that you've mentioned and beyond?
Yes, this app is for all Muslims, right? We have a new meditation series that's come out. It's meditation for kids, like starting them young. I mean, I have a 4 month
Mhm.
old. I've been trying, like, teaching her
Yeah.
as I go. But we have these sessions available, and we're purposely doing really short ones for the kids to keep them, like, a grounding exercise and an
Yeah.
opportunity them for to even learn about Islam. So we're starting like really young right there. And then like I mentioned, even the work, like you can go throughout the whole trajectory. Teenagers going through stress, going through life. We have university people, students that we're polling to figure out what topics that they would like us to have throughout their journey now. And they're in the work world, and life is just like so many things. Everyone's pulling you in multiple different directions. So we're designing it for those on the go as well. As you get older, of like your life changes. You may have children now. You have grandchildren, etc. So it is for the whole large range as well. But you hit on a really good point when it comes to gender, and we are looking to men as well. Especially, we want to shatter any misconceptions. There are so many people suffering, and women can turn to other women, I feel, and open up and vent a little, and they feel a little good. But our men, it's hard for them to maybe open up a little bit more, and we want them to actually have a place where they can feel connected. So we have a variety of topics. um, our men that we pulled have said, like, you know what, we are interested in, because I do have a background in mental skills coaching as well. So mental skills when it comes to even playing sports, of like, how do you stay present when you
Mhm.
may have missed a basket, and now your brain is telling you, oh my goodness, you missed a basket, or you should
Mhm.
probably sit down on the bench now, like, you're not doing so well. But how do you
Yeah.
get out of that? Like, that's your mind being stuck in your mind wandering to something of the past. And the past, if your mind's stuck in it, you can get depressed. And if your mind is stuck in the future, you get very anxious. So even
Mhm.
when you're playing sports, there's an opportunity to come back in the present moment and let your skills really truly shine. So we have a variety of different things. We're talking to many different people, different ages, men and women, trying to figure out what is it that they would like us to speak about, and we're happy to speak about it. So stay tuned. Again, like I said, lots coming, but definitely for our Muslim brothers, we would give it a chance and see what it's like. And please give, more so than the app, but just your own mental health. Please do take care of yourselves. We all need to work on our mental health so that we can help other people.
I love it. I just love the spectrum of this app. Basically, everyone, and I mean the use case, like you mentioned, there's sports as well. Of course, we don't think about it, but every one of us is faced with failure at some point, even multiple times a day, and it's tough. There's some failures that easy to get out of. You mess something up in, I don't know, like the kitchen or whatever, that's fine. But you have some really big failures in life that we all go through, but it can be so tough. And I think, yes, you're absolutely right. With men, it must be very tough because they don't really turn to anyone. They just seem to get on with it, and that's not right. So I absolutely just love the spectrum that this app is targeting with. Um, Wonderful. Now we're obviously on this journey of getting more users to use it. So Iqra, how can people feedback if they've got anything, any ideas or whatever? How can they get in touch with you, or just generally?
Yeah, most definitely. So we are available. The app is available, like I mentioned, on Google Play and the App Store. We're open to hearing your reviews as well of what it's like. But if you want to follow us on social media, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, it's Noor underscore meditation on TikTok as well. You can feel free to send us a message, even on TikTok, even on, let's say, on Instagram. Instagram, I'm handling it, all the conversations. So you want to speak to me directly. Love hearing from our users and just learning from them, jumping on conversations to have with them, whatever it is. So please feel free to reach out. Even if you want to send us an email, it's salam with 1A at noormeditation.com.
Brilliant. I will put all of those in the
Perfect.
description boxes
Yeah.
as well. And for our Spotify listeners, also you heard it from Iqra, and I'll also put that in the description for that as well. So excellent. I'm so excited. I genuinely can't wait to just use this and get everyone using it, including my friends and family. I think honestly in discovering it and just knowing that it's suitable for everyone, I can think of every single person in my life who can benefit from this, and I'm sure people listening, you can too. So do spread the word. Iqra, is there any other final words you want to add for our listeners?
Yeah, the last thing I just want to add here is just to emphasize, I used to work at the Center of Addiction Mental Health, and their tagline was mental health is health. And
Yeah.
that always stuck with me, because with physical health, you have a broken bone, you have a cough, you have a fever, you have, something going on internally. It's so easy to be like, yeah, I need to go to the doctor, right? Yeah, I need to seek some sort of help, that be the doctor or the medicine, or, trying to, hopefully you're not Google doctor and cause you to get stressed out, but you're acting on it. That's pretty much what I'm saying, is you're willing to act on it, and you're willing to seek help for it, because you know that you may not be the expert and you need to get some help to feel better. But why don't we do the same for mental health? And that's a question I want to leave your viewers and your listeners with, is it's time for us to start taking care of our mental health just as much as we take care of our physical, if not more. They're totally related, right? If your mental health is not good, you're going to see your physical symptoms are going to be coming off the roofs as well. So let's take care of our mental health, and let's normalize mental health and mental illness. And really, that's what we're trying to do with the app, is not only give someone the tool of, like, learn this cool fancy thing called meditation. It's no, like, let's give you a tool to get through these tough times. No way is it a replacement for therapy, and that we know that some of our users do need the therapy and that additional professional help. And to them, 100% go for it. But use this as maybe like your tool that you're using when you need just maybe a little bit of a lift me up, right? And you have that time, let's say you're in the car and you're commuting, or you're on the train, like you said. This is your time, your opportunity to really give your mental health the time that it deserves.
I absolutely love that message. Thank you so much for sharing that, Iqra. And also, I'm so grateful to you for creating this tool that it's so easily to access. It's literally a few clicks away. So, everyone out there listening, please do give it a go. It really is time to prioritize our mental health. And thankfully, Iqra has made it so easy for us to do that, to just make a start and get using it and seeing where it leads us, hopefully, to happier people, more mindful people, because absolutely that is so important, to be more mindful of yourself so you can help the world around you as well. Iqra, thank you so much. I cannot wait to get this out in front of people, and all the best.
Appreciate it so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.